Let's call the May 19th meeting to order. Salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Mr. Cullen?
Here.
Ms. Curran? Here. Mr. D'Angelo?
Here.
Ms. Paglione?
Yeah,
Mr.
Ms.
Polia-
Paglione's excused.
Sorry. Mr. Poliafico?
Here.
Mr. Parolo?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Stiltner?
Here.
And Mr. Chicoletti?
Here. Okay, at this time, I'm going to recess the meeting, and we're going to move to the library.
Make a motion to recess the meeting?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Once again, good evening. Welcome to Snyder Girardi. If this is your first time here, I'm Kelly Rosato. I'm the principal here. I'd like to welcome our school board members who are with us, our superintendent, Dr. Schaefer, our friends, family, and of course, our very special guest for the evening, Mary Gesualdi. From a few members of our Parent Advisory Council who proposed an idea to me. Well, obviously, some time has passed, but here we are to see their idea through. It is an honor and a privilege to stand before you to recognize and celebrate Mary Gesualdi and tell you what she has meant to our district. Mary Gesualdi taught for the Bristol Borough School District for decades of years. She dedicated her life to the children of our school and to the school community. Mary has always had a passion for reading and a love of books. Mary took advantage of every opportunity to share that passion with all of us. Our students are so much better and well-read because of Mary, and so is the staff. Mary is the most selfless person you will ever meet. You know, Mary officially retired, not once, but twice. Even so, she has volunteered here since her retirement to support us by organizing the library, running our book fairs, making sure I completed the federal program stuff accurately. She even completed some for me, but don't tell the feds. She spent more than 40 hours preparing for our audit back in April, preparing me for that audit, and she sat beside me during the audit to support me, which meant everything. Whew. I did a little bit of research, so let me share a tidbit of information about pennies. Some of the beliefs about pennies came from ancient civilizations that had strong ties to metals and their gods. They believed that items such as copper were gifts from the gods. If you found some, you snagged it because it would provide protection from evil, hence the saying, find a penny, pick it up, all day long, you'll have good luck. Mary, you are the shiniest penny I've ever met, and surely the most valuable. We are lucky to have snagged you. Snyder Girardi will always be your home, and you are always welcome here. So, Mary, Mark, if Christina's not here, Christina in spirit, family, friends, and guests, please direct your attention here. On behalf of the Bristol Borough School District, I would like to formally dedicate our library to you. Welcome. School.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Additionally, and I'll ask everyone to enter, you know we already had our book machine or our book vending machine, which will have her cut the ribbon. And to the left of that was a mural that features Mary and some of a couple of children from the district who have since passed. And so we'll always have them and you here with us. And Summer Roach drew that, who's here with us today. So thank you, Summer. Mrs. Roach, probably Mr. Well, of course, Ms. Halkowski organized it all. You know that. So I'll invite everybody in at this time. We'll have Mary cut the second ribbon and look at the mural, and then you can enjoy yourselves. There's a little stuff here for you.
Okay, let's reconvene the meeting on May 19th. Congratulations to Mrs. Jesawaldi and her years of service, and a well-deserved dedication. Okay, so let's go to approve the agenda with said addendums.
I motion.
I'll second.
Mr. D'Angelo, Mr. Poliafico. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm
Nays?
sorry, I should interrupt. We should have on 4B, that item should be tabled till the next meeting.
Okay, 4B stapled,
Yes,
okay.
I'm sorry.
That was you told me that 5 minutes ago, and
No, it's okay, we're showing our age, I'm sorry.
I forgot it, so.
I'm sorry, excuse me, which one?
4B.
4B, we're going to table to the next meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the
Well,
first
Mr.
page.
McHugh and I to work on that. Mr. McHugh was kind enough to remind me before I
Can you
forgot.
revise it?
Okay, so,
With that change, if that motion is still appropriate.
okay. So, reports and presentations, Dr. Schaefer?
Yes, and I might be taking something away from some of the principals here. I'm just going to go over what's happening the next couple of days, okay? So Monday, June the 13th, at 9 o'clock is kindergarten promotion. 11:30 is early dismissal for Snyder Girardi, okay? Also on Monday the 13th, the high school have their finals. On Monday, June 13th at 6 o'clock is senior memory night at the high school. Tuesday, June 14th at 9 a.m. is 6th grade promotion right here. It is also 11:30 dismissal for Snyder Girardi. Middle and high school have finals that day. It is the last day for students. Tuesday, June 14th at 6 o'clock is graduation. And Wednesday, June 15th is the last day for teachers. I'm going to ask you just to indulge me for a minute here. I want to read to you the colleges our seniors have been accepted at. Now, this doesn't mean they're all going to these schools, but keep in mind, this is a class of approximately 70 students. And these are the colleges that they've been accepted to, okay? In addition to Bucks and Montgomery County Community College, Alabama, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Wilkes, Indiana University of Pennsylvania, Hofstra, Albright, Lemoyne, University of Minnesota, Lycoming College, Alvernia, Arcadia, Bloomsburg, DeSales, Duquesne, Taylor, Cairn, Florida Southern, Millersville, Marymount, Lock Haven, James Madison, Marywood, University of Delaware, Westchester, Ursinus, East Carolina, Holy Family, Penn State, Maine, Wilkes, Eastern, Lebanon, Drexel, Yukon, Ryder, St. Thomas in Florida, Susquehanna, University of Massachusetts, Temple, Washington, Jefferson, George Mason, Villanova, Moravian, Harcum, Morgan State, University of Akron, Hartwick, Elizabethtown, St. John's, and Canisius. Two of our students are going into Job Corps. One is going to the Marines, and two have been accepted in the Electricians Union Apprenticeships. So I think for a small school, our students do extremely well getting into colleges. That's an impressive
Absolutely.
list.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
That's my whole report.
Thank you, Dr. Schaefer. We have a report on the comprehensive plan.
No, none of the reports for that one today.
You're not going to do that tonight?
No,
You're going to hold off on that?
yes.
We have, we know we asked you about Dr. Paskey with the tech school. What are we doing
Well, I
about?
spoke to Mr. Pollock, but he doesn't feel he needs him here, okay? I asked him for the next meeting, but if you want to,
Yeah, I mean, I didn't understand why, I mean, Chris is pretty much, and Tom are pretty well updated on all that stuff there. And talking to Chris a little bit more, maybe we could just have another discussion in the executive session about the numbers and stuff. So, I'm fine with that, but, we can do a little bit of talking in an executive session.
Maybe in the fall, if you could prepare a short presentation, we'll put it up there. And an explanation, I've been around a while, but I forgot the inner workings of the school, the technical school, so that you could explain, okay, this is how it works, so that everybody on the board would get a refresher, and the public. and it'll be, at a public meeting. It's just a, 15-minute presentation as to how students enter the program, what is expected of them, how many students we allot, the cost for the students, just a brief, would that help?
One of the biggest issues is the cost when you start to really look at it, so that's something we can talk about.
Yeah, not just that, like you said, I've been around a long time and I forget how the inner workings
Yeah,
are.
and I would definitely, the financial part of it's easy to explain, but the actual lottery, how the selection process,
And
I
that's
feel
what
more
we're bringing
comfortable with
on.
having
Yeah.
somebody from the tech school
And we can bring somebody
specifically.
from the technical
Yeah.
department.
Yeah, just a quick,
Yeah.
even to tell you the truth, even if they didn't want to come, if they would tape it,
Mm-hmm.
if they could tape it and then we could play the tape here, like, here's our process and this is how it's done.
Sorry, so short.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe our tech school reps have some more information.
Yeah, we're down to talking about it now, Jeff.
Yeah,
All right,
Would you like to share?
we'll get back to you.
yes, well, little learning curve, need to speed myself up on.
Okay, at this time, anyone from the public participation, anyone from the public would like to make any comments, statements, questions? Approach the podium and present your name.
Hi, Rachel Meditz. Here about both my daughters, actually. It was only supposed to be one, but I found out very short notice that I'm here
Oh.
about two.
Okay, this is a matter about students, and we don't like to mention names in public.
Okay,
So you did speak to the superintendent, and you did speak with the principal? You spoke
Yes.
with everyone that you needed to speak to, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Chicoletti, she and I are meeting tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, so in order to keep things, so-called confidential, and it is a matter that should be handled, so Dr. Schaefer will meet with you
Okay.
tomorrow. And the school board, we did talk about this in
Okay.
executive session.
okay, so, no, I just wanted to bring up that I wanted to see some type of policy change for students who excel academically. And that was really all I wanted to bring up, that I think there's a bit of a oxymoron per se for students who get distinguished honor roll and are told they can't walk in graduation.
We all agree that we have to take a look at that policy.
Okay.
And like you said, I've been here many years, and so have some of the other members on the board, and every couple of years, we're faced with, something along those lines, and it's always not a good situation. They're always good students, but, we leave that up to the superintendent,
Okay.
to make those decisions along with the teacher.
Okay.
But, we are aware of the situation, it's sad, but, unfortunate, like you said, we do have rules here, but if something needs to be changed, we will look at it. And,
Okay.
It brought attention to us. But,
My main goal for being here is I think it's something that needs to be brought attention to.
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public? Okay, so this closes public participation. Okay, let's do new business, item A.
Mr. Chicoletti, I have revised wording for that. I would recommend the wording be as follows. Approve awarding a contract for high school window and door removal and replacement to TE Construction Services LLC for a base bid of $323,700 and an alternate bid for $399,000 for a total of $722,730.
Okay, so.
That's the motion?
Yes, Mr. D'Angelo agrees.
I agree, that's my motion.
Thank you. Okay, second by Mr. Collin. Do we have any questions?
Just so the public's aware, we received 2 bids for the project, and at the conclusion of this, we will now have brand-new windows in our entire high school.
Okay, so that was a project that was planned, and we met with the contractors, I believe, a week or two ago, and Depending on availability, they're going to try and do this work over the summer. But their major concern was that, the product. And actually, we were talking to the gentleman who actually makes the windows. So that project will be the entire third floor and the back of the school on Wilson Avenue and in that courtyard area there and along the side where the locker rooms are. So at the end of these two projects, the entire school will have new replacement windows. And we had a Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting today, and we'll let Mr. Parolo tell you we were setting projects up for the summer, and he'll give you that presentation and when it comes to reports for the board at the conclusion of the meeting. Okay, so we have a motion, item A, by Mr. D'Angelo, second by Mr. Cullen. Any questions? Okay, so all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Nays? Abstention? Motion carries. Item B.
Item B, we are tabling that.
Okay, Mr. D'Angelo, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Parolo.
Okay, item C,
Hold on.
Okay,
Hold on.
we gotta take a vote.
That's
We gotta take a
table,
vote,
yeah, we got to
yeah.
take a vote on that one, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? Item C.
item C, motion to approve the tax assessment appeal for tax parcel 04-020-002 for the terms indicated in the settlement agreement negotiated between all parties in the appeal of the National Penn Bank, doing business as the BB&T Bank, from the decision of the Bucks County Board of Assessment, docket number 2017-08125.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen?
I guess, who wants to explain that, you or Dave?
I can explain it. This is an appeal filed quite some time ago, and there were appraisals done, which frankly, if we had to go with the appraisals, this would be a much bigger hit to the district. We're able to kind of stop the amount, so it's not going to be a large hit to the district year by year. The aggregate amounts are around $58,000 over, I think, 5 years. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. And then after that, then it'll level off. I think.
Yes.
So it's I know it doesn't sound good to have to pay money back, but it's actually a good, given the appraisals, it's actually a very good resolution. So.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? Motion carries. Item D.
Item D, I motion that we approve to amend the graduation requirements for students who enter Bristol High School after their freshman year. These students will not be required to take academic literacy. However, they will be required to take an equivalent course as decided by the guidance department.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions?
Okay, on the personnel, item A, I motion we approve the extension of the contract between the Bristol Borough School District and the Bucks County IU for acting superintendent Dr. Thomas F. Schaefer through August 26, 2022.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Cullen. Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Item B.
Item B, I motion we approve the attached contract between the Bristol Borough School District and the soon-to-be acting superintendent, Dr. Brodus W. Davis, effective August 29th, 2022.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Cullen. Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Item C.
Item C, I motion that we approve the attached contract between the Bristol Borough School District and the Bristol Borough Educational Association to go into effect August 23rd, 2022 through August 22nd, 2027.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mrs. Curran? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, motion carries. Item D.
Item D, I make a motion that we approve the attached contract between the Bristol Borough School District and the Bristol Borough Custodial and Maintenance Agreement in effect July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2026.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mrs. Curran? Questions?
Just want to give a quick comment. I'd like to thank the committees for both the teacher's contract and the custodial contract for all their hard work and dedication, and we got a lot achieved here, so.
Chris, and the same thing back to you. You were the point person on that. I wasn't on that committee, but good job, good negotiations. I think it's a good deal for both sides. So, and I know it was hard work. So thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Item E, approve to advertise for an elementary teacher, PA certification pre-K through 4.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Collins. Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? Motion carries. Item F.
Item F, I motion that we approve to amend the retirement of George Gatto, effective July 5th, 2022.
Do I have a second? Mr. Poliafco? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Motion carries. Item G.
Mr. President, I motion to approve to create a position of the part-time art teacher, PA certification pre-K through 12.
D'Angelo, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Collins. Okay, just want to make a comment on this. As the board, I believe that we started a discussion last year about enhancing art and music. And this is going to help in the art program to bring in a part-time position. A retired art teacher is going to come in and help us out here at the elementary school to do some art. On a separate note, we had an evaluation of the music program that was done by 2 professionals from New Jersey. They came very well qualified, taught at Princeton their whole lives, and they gave us a written report with some recommendations, and we'll be looking at those recommendations over the summer to see if we need to bring in a part-time instrumental person, which was recommended. So we are making progress in the music and the art, and like I said, the board approved all of this. So we're getting there. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Mr. President, I make a motion we approve to advertise for a part-time art teacher, PA certification pre-K through 12.
Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Second.
Mr. Collins, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? Motion carries. Item I.
Mr. President, I motion that we approve the resignation of Frank Lapergola, bus driver, effective June 3rd, 2022.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Collins. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? Item J.
Just to make a quick comment, the school district is in need of bus drivers, so anybody that knows somebody that has a CDL and S endorsement, we would love to have you. Please just come to the administration building and ask for me.
And we could add to that if we could help them get a CDL.
One of
we
our
will-
drivers is certified to train.
Yeah, so we have bus drivers that could certify and train, and those individuals will be paid while they're being trained, for a bus driver. It's a dire need here for bus drivers. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstentions? Motion carries. Item I.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve to hire James Denny as a school security guard, effective the 2022-2023 school year.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Collins? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any nays, abstention, motion carries. Item
K.
Okay, I have just a slight modification. I would recommend this be worded, approve the resolution with former employee Jane Doe of an outstanding grievance arbitration per the terms of an executed agreement between the school district and Jane Doe.
Okay, and I
All right,
will
that's-
make that motion officially.
That's your motion, okay. Do I have a second?
Jeff?
Jeff? Mr. Poliafco? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Abstention? Motion carries. Item L.
Item L, I make a motion to approve to hire Ashley Nekraz as a special education speech and language impaired pre-K through 12 teacher, master's step 1 plus 15. Salary and benefits as per the master agreement effective 2022-2023 school year.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Cullen. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Item M.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve to hire Christine Pelicano as a paraprofessional, salary and benefits as per negotiated agreement effective the 2022-2023 school year.
Do I have a second? Second. Mr. Cullen.
I have one question,
Go ahead,
Mr.
Mr.
Clay, and maybe Tom or Chris, we're still are in need of aides, right, or no? We're good?
District assistants?
District assistants, aides, all kinds, or no? Okay, so if you're out there, and listen, I'm with the IU, we need them.
With IU, aides are
Everybody
needed
needs
everywhere.
them, so if you know somebody, locally, we prefer, it just makes you part of our family that, and, you know, the pay's not that great, but they're very rewarding jobs. And you get to be around young people, so.
Yeah, and the children appreciate it too, because you're working with the children, right, John?
Yep.
So that's great. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstentions? Okay, information and discussion. The next board meeting will be on June the 23rd, 2022. That will be our last meeting. We're going to break for the summer, and we'll be back in August. 25th of August, we'll be back. The board will be available in case of any emergencies arise, but we'll try and sew up all of the business and conclude at the June 23rd meeting. Okay, now we'll go around the horn here and, you know, anyone that has comments, but let me start back here with Mrs. Rosado. Do you have any comments?
Just thank you to the board for adjourning the meeting so that we could present and dedicate the library in Mary Jeswaldy's name. So thank you for that.
And thank you for all the hard work and all the people that were involved with that. That was a very nice reception and keeping it, you know, secret, and it was very nice.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Nastasi?
I have a few things. I haven't been here in a while. I want to thank all of our staff, our teachers, our custodians, our cafeteria workers, Mr. Denny and Mr. Gatto for all their efforts for this past school year. I want to congratulate Anthony Silver for participating in the PIAA shot put contest in Shippensburg. I also want to congratulate the Unified Track Team for placing 4th at our state games in Shippensburg. I also want to congratulate all of our seniors from this year. Last year, talking about our seniors, last year, our scholarships total was $731,595. Through the efforts of Mrs. Ciccoletti and our guidance counselor, Debbie Connor, and our interns through Holy Family, which were very valuable this year, our total for all of our seniors earning scholarships and money from the community this year is $1.167 million.
Wow.
Nice.
How many students are graduating?
70.
7. Wow.
Yes. Our total contributions from our community was $92,250. So that goes a long way in saying how much pride and how much people really care about our kids. So their efforts are well appreciated. I also want to thank the board and Ms. Rosado for a wonderful school year, and I appreciate everybody and their support. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Nastasi.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. McHugh, you have anything?
Just wanted to update, on June 23rd, we'll be voting on the final budget, which includes no tax increase.
Great job with that, too. Okay. All right, Mr. Smith.
I'd like to congratulate Ms. Jeswaldy for having the library dedicated to her, and a great job, Kelly. I'm very happy and pleased that we are going to revisit the current policy with kids who struggled at the end of the year or during the year, their senior year, and aren't able to walk because they have to go to summer school. I like the policy to be changed, so they're given the option to walk, and then they can go to summer school and get their diploma. No child should be left behind. And this, my first year on the board, is very troubling to me because I've never saw this happen before. I've been in schools, I went to school, policies were, you graduated, and if you failed and you were able to go to summer school and complete the course, then you were able to get the diploma. Now, if there's kids that are way off the rail and they failed everything, you can't go to summer school to make this up. That's fine. That is what it is. For someone that's failing because they failed one class and they can go to summer school to make that and get that diploma, they should be given the option to walk with their class. And I'm very emotional because I'm very upset about this whole thing. So that's all I have. Oh, I'd like to congratulate the class of 2022, the Warriors.
Ms. Curran?
Well, of course, I'd like to thank Mary Gesualdi for all of her hard work and dedication to our community, and I thought it was extremely appropriate, and thank you, Kelly, for making such a wonderful night for her. I will agree full-heartedly with what Tony has said, and whether it's this year or in the future, that I do see us hopefully addressing and changing and growing with the times to make an adjustment for our students. I'd also like, again, to thank all of our high school coaches and congratulate the students because they have made an amazing year in athletics, sorry. And thank you also just for the board for hearing and talking all of our, whether it's building and grounds or our students, talking about them in length and coming up with a resolution or working towards a positive resolution. I really appreciate everyone's hard work, so thank you.
I'd like to add one more thing.
Go ahead.
We also, I believe as a board, have to start considering mental health. These kids today are not what they were 10, 20, 30 years ago. Mental health has to be factored in with their education. It's not black and white. It's a new time. And these kids, we need to just face it as it is. Mental health is an issue. And we can't treat each kid as the same because they're not. And it's time we wake up. And believe me, we're going to wake up because I'm here. Because I'm not going to tolerate it. That's all. Thank you.
Mr. Cohen?
Yes, I'd like to also congratulate Mrs. Gesualdi and Mrs. Halkowski and Mrs. Rosado for that, their hard work in getting the library dedicated to Mrs. Gesualdi. Well-deserved individual. I was just curious. How's the yeah, I was just trying to figure out the playground. Any progress on the playground situation? Mrs. Rosado, do you know?
Okay, sure.
Did you have something?
Well, so we surveyed the students, and overwhelmingly, they chose playground option number 5. They were very excited to be able to look at the pictures, and fitness challenge number 2. So with that being said, our next step is for, I guess, to meet with Fred and get a hold of the company and then get some costs so that I could come to the board and get this party rolling, because that's a lot of work to do. And with Al, we've already been in communication, so they were really, really excited, and I'll announce that tomorrow for the children. Yeah.
All right, thank you. I didn't know she had that. But thank you. And that's all I have. Thanks.
And it was, I'm sorry, 435 students and a few staff members all cast their votes. So, good sampling.
And just as a comment, Cadet was, and Mr. Prola will go into detail with that because things have to be laid out for the summer, those projects.
Yes.
As you were all aware of, is that Mr. Gatto is retiring, but will be in charge of facilities. So anything now has to go through Mr. Gatto, okay? So if there's an emergency per se, and I want to make this clear because we had to make it clear today, we have to have a little better communication. There's too many things that are going on. And it wasn't just one individual or the other. There was some confusion, and there's too many projects. We want people to be able to have their vacation. We want the school to get cleaned. We want to make sure that, hey, I'm not fixing windows in this room after you cleaned it, and now you're going to expect me to go back. So that was the gist of the meeting today, and Mr. Parola will get into it. But when Mr. Gatto has to step away for the summer, he has to be away for 90 days from the school district. In his absence, Mr. Schaefer will be in charge, but Mr. Gatto will be available, okay? So, for instance, if there is a broken air conditioner, okay, yeah, we're going to reach out to the maintenance man, but still, Mr. Gatto has to be, somehow communicated to. We are also purchasing a work order program that should be up and running by next January. So the work order program that we're going to look into these programs. I talked with Mr. Hetherington about it. So therefore, the teacher would be able to put in a work order on a date and a time, and then that would go to Mr. Gatto, and Mr. Gatto would then give that to the maintenance individuals to make sure it's done in a timely manner. This way, we could keep track of these work orders, because over the next couple of years, there's going to be a lot of improvements that are going to take place in the school, and we just want to keep track of all of the things that we're going to be doing. So, and there'll be another meeting, and there'll be several meetings over the summer to see how progress is going, because to be honest with you, the playground was not in the mix of the projects this summer. It's not saying that it can't be done, but it just, we have to know, okay, if you, Mr. Gatto, Mr. Cullen, Dr. Schaefer, if you all got together, that's what we would recommend, is that, hey, the reason that the school board was at the meeting today was to make sure that everyone understood. You have to get together, you have to communicate. There's 60 days to do 90 days worth of work. So it's not saying that anything is not going to be done. It could all be done, because we would bring in additional help if we have to. And so the plans are in place for projects. So you communicate with everyone and order the equipment when it comes in. We'll do our best to get it up and running as soon as possible. We also addressed your other issue with the traffic pattern back there. You'll have meetings over the summer to decide what you want to do with that.
Could I just ask for a point of clarity? In the meantime, before we get that electronic system for work orders, how do you feel it's best to communicate with Mr. Gatto? Via phone, via email?
It's going to be, I would always recommend an email system.
Okay.
Okay, so you email him.
Okay.
Okay. If you don't get a response, now keeping in mind that you could include Dr. Schaefer in that email, because Mr. Gatto technically can't be on the grounds for that 90 days, because when you leave the school district, the rules of the Peasers are you can't be here. So to honor that, he can't really step back into the building, so Dr. Schaefer is going to be in charge. When the new program is purchased, and then a letter will go out saying, okay, this is what has to be done. And there's going to be, when we set up the system, there's going to be ways in there that different individuals will be, after 3 days, if a project's not done, the superintendent, it will appear in his email. And then he could say, hey, why wasn't this done? When a project is completed, it's also going to be time-stamped, like, listen, it took me an hour and a half to do this. It was completed on such and such a day. It helps, that we do things, because with something that we're lacking in the school, and the reason that Mr. Gatto was hired was that we have no procedure manuals. And I'll give you an example. We're going to hook up a generator that could run the whole high school, okay? If the power goes out, boom, the electric comes on, the school's lit up, okay? There's I think it's a 500 or 700 or maybe even 1,000-gallon tank with diesel fuel in it, okay? That runs that generator. That generator exercises every week for 20 minutes. If nobody checks that generator for a month and we lose power, in 3 hours, the generator's going to die. Now, who are we going to say who's responsible? So this is the reason that Mr. Gatto was brought on to set up procedures. Hey, the maintenance crew, the first day of every month, you must check this and initial it to make sure. When it goes below 500 gallons, you have to call and have it filled up. And there's a whole procedure that a manual that has to be set up. And that was one of the reasons to make someone in charge of facilities, is to make sure that these policies and procedures, you know, are written up. And that will help us keep track of things. So, Mr. Parolo?
Oh,
sorry.
I have one more thing, I'm sorry. I was speaking to Mr. Poplawski, and he's looking for volunteers for that community day that they're having on the school property on the 13th. I think it's at 1:30. He was just looking for some volunteers to help him out during that community day.
I took a half a day off of work, but I did that 2 weeks ago. Are we still having, what's the story with that?
Yeah, they're still having it.
There's still, is everything ready to go?
As far as I know, Mr. Brian Johnson and Mr. Poplawski were supposed to be taking care of everything. I reached out to them, they said they were fine, and everything should go as planned. He just asked me tonight to see if he can get some volunteers to help out.
Okay, I'll be, what time?
I think he said, what's an hour after school? What's school
I
right now?
believe the last communication was at 1 o'clock.
Right.
So what I could do is I can relay that information to the teachers. They're doing end of the year stuff that needs to get done because they end on Wednesday. So those who are able to come out and feel like, their workload is managed, they're more than welcome to do, because I will be in the dunk tank. So perhaps some may want to throw a ball at me, I don't know.
Now, this will run, this is, let's get this out there. So this is going to be for the students of the elementary school and high school, or just elementary school?
It was elementary. Originally, I think it was just I'm not too sure, but I thought it was for elementary students. And it was just like a fun day, community day, but I don't think there would be a problem with high school kids there, I wouldn't think.
The advertisement, the flyer said K to 6, however, I'm not sure who's monitoring and who knows the children to say, you're in 7th and you can't stay, and whether or not someone would do that. I don't know.
I'm seeing a little bit of something's, are we, I don't want an answer, but, can there be a meeting tomorrow to make sure everything is done?
Yeah,
If we're serving food, okay, well, we got the hot dogs, but who's bringing the grills, and do we have the gas? And,
Yeah, like I said,
include our maintenance man, our buildings and ground, whatever you need to do, but maybe you need to have a little.
Kelly, have any of those guys reached out to you?
We have not had an official meeting, and I voiced, some of my questions, just kind of knowing and organizing some events, but not an official meeting that included Brian Johnson. I spoke to Mike Poplawski briefly on Tuesday.
Okay, I'll talk with, I'll ask them. Like I said, I did reach out. They thought everything was okay.
Okay,
He just asked for volunteers, so.
Okay.
But I
When
will
do you
check.
need
I
the
will check with
volunteers
them.
there? Like what time?
I could find, it'd be 1 o'clock, I guess.
That's when it starts, right?
Yeah.
They don't need setup time for anything?
I think they're getting like dunk tanks and slides and like I think they have all that under control.
Okay.
Just make sure that today's Thursday, this is happening Monday.
Apparently Mrs. Cullen knows.
Yeah.
State your name.
Yeah.
State your name and say where you live.
It's going to start at 1, but they need help at more like 12 o'clock.
Okay.
And it's only K through 6. We're discouraging high school because you don't want kids to get hurt, So that you have to discourage, like, if, that's why I wanted you to say that, but you said, oh, if somebody wants, no, nobody extra can come.
I can get hollered out of school board meeting.
I just wonder, and I don't disagree because of safety reasons.
Right.
You have
Okay.
bounce houses, you have kids running around.
That's right.
We have, over 600 children who attend here, and I'm not that all will come, but you will have a good
Right.
turnout, right? They're excited about it, it's been advertised on social media. I wonder how you monitor that and enforce that. That's the only thing that I see, because it's an open space.
And I understand that, but we should discourage it here at the meeting, and it says it on there, K to 6. That, I mean, how much clearer can we get, you know? I don't know, and I know people but I was gonna say, maybe some of the high school kids would come and help. That would be a great thing.
That's a great idea.
So if you wanna reach out to the kids at the high school and see if some of them would like to come and help out. But I definitely think they have to be there at least by 12, because we're gonna need a lot of help putting it
So
together.
this is a council, school board sponsored
That's right.
activity? Okay,
That's right.
so that's fine. I just,
And we don't know, there was a point where he said, you know, they may need some money from both of us, but I'm not sure about that right now. I think he's gotten a lot of the stuff given to him, so.
okay, once again, I would
You would
encourage
like
a
a
meeting,
meeting?
because, you know, if they're gonna do the, blow-up slide, okay, that has a fan that needs a motor.
Well,
So
he
when the guy,
he talked to Fred,
okay,
and Fred told him that he was gonna get him the water and whatever he needed,
okay.
electric.
So maybe tomorrow, double-check your list and make sure that everything's ready for Monday.
So do you think we should have a meeting, Al? Do you think we should get a meeting together?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
Alan and Steve.
No, I'm talking to you, Al. Do you think
Okay.
we should do a meeting
I guess, if you want, I mean.
tomorrow?
it's-
Because I'll get a hold of the people that are on the committee.
Yeah, if you want to, I mean.
What time?
Just to make sure.
How about you, John? Can you make it?
Tomorrow, I can't.
Okay.
Well, look, it's what you really need. You really don't need the board. We're okay, everybody's okay with it. You'll have volunteers. I'm just asking that our maintenance people, you know, communicate with the principal here, the superintendent.
All right.
Communicate with Freddie, Dennis, make sure, hey, do we have, we have the extension cords ready? Hey, are the propane cylinders filled? We just used them at a picnic. You know, are they filled and ready for Monday? We want everything to go.
And I understand.
Yeah,
With
just-
Pops and Freddie, I mean, I'm sure it's gonna run smooth,
I agree.
you know what I mean?
I agree.
So, but it's important, the water thing's important, so.
Well, Fred told them that he would manage it. He
Yeah,
said
well,
it's
that's good
gonna be
then.
hard, but he'll get it done.
Yeah, well, if
Right.
he says he can do it, I know he can do it.
I think, from my perspective, the most important thing to communicate at least would be where everything will be set up.
Okay.
So we can look at logistics, because adjacent to where I think it's being set up is the staff parking lot. So it's not going to end by the time the staff leaves for the day, and I worry about the safety of children running around, so I could ask the staff, if I knew where everything was going to be, to park somewhere else, move, perhaps if they were finished for the day, they may even be able to leave and finish up
I
at
get it.
home, whatever would be appropriate.
Also, I wanted to ask you about bathrooms. Did you talk to them about that? Kelly?
Who, me?
Didn't you ask them to do something about bathrooms?
I said what were the logistics and where were the bathrooms going to be open, because I don't feel like the school should just be open. Would someone be there to monitor?
Okay,
That was what I asked.
yeah. All right, well, that, I just wanted to know if that was addressed. Was that addressed?
I've not heard back yet,
All
no.
right, we have to talk. We have
Yeah.
to get, we all have
Yeah,
to
set
get.
I'll be here
something.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow we'll get together.
Lorraine, they're all easy things.
Okay.
They're all easy things. I could ask questions, we can talk about it, figure it out like we did tonight.
Yeah.
And it will work out beautifully,
Okay, all
I'm
right.
sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we just want to make sure everything runs smooth. If I go in that dunk tank, when I go in that water, a lot of
I
water's
hope
going
you
out,
are
so
going
make sure
in
you
the
got
dunk
water to
tank.
put back in there.
And I told Ralph Di Giuseppe he's going in the.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, no, you know what I said, Mr. Ciccoletti, what they want to do is they want to, you get in the dunk tank, and then they fill it up with the water.
Wait a- Okay, we had a good laugh. Mr. Perola.
That was a good one. I want to thank Kelly and Nick for doing a great job, like they always do. We never get bothered as board members with them being in charge. So they did a great job, and all the teachers and all the staff, all the coaches, they've done a wonderful job. And as far as the buildings and grounds, we are going to be doing the windows. We're going to be doing air conditioning, heaters. A lot of times you guys don't get to see all this because you don't come through the school. But our school is right up there with any other school as far as air conditioning, bathrooms, safety, everything is there. So if you ever want to tour it, you're more than welcome to come through and tour it. But we're getting a lot done. We're going to get lights on the track. We're going up. So people that want to walk late at night, early in the morning, they'll be available to them. So, we're getting a new playground, thanks to Kelly, and setting everything up. Hopefully that'll get done. So everything is rolling along. So that's all I really have to say. If you really want to tour, just make an appointment and come through the school, and you can see everything that gets done. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Are you going to be walking in the morning? I'll walk with you, or at night?
I doubt if I'll be walking at 8.
I'll gladly go on the track.
If I can take my remote control, I'll walk.
Okay. Mr. Stiltner?
I would like to congratulate Ms. Jeswaldy. She's a real asset, treasure to the district and
I
town.
missed that.
And then also, I'm very happy hearing about the potential of changing maybe the drop-off or pickup with the school in the morning. For 7 years, I've been dropping my kid off every morning and then picking my kid up, at the end of the day. And there's a lot of issues there. It's one of the reasons I wanted to join the board, is to help with that and find a solution because there's a few times I also seen some alterations at the end of the day, and it's just a mess, and it needs to be cleaned up. And I'm glad it's being looked at, and anything I can do to help out or.
Well, we'll have a report on that new traffic pattern, because I think we have to send a letter out to the parents letting them know if that's what's going to happen, correct? Right?
Absolutely, we would have to do that. The traffic pattern at admission and drop-off and pickup has always been a challenge. It's a challenge to put a procedure in place and to have it followed, right? If you don't have enough people to enforce it out there. And that's always been the biggest challenge. The procedure itself is not a bad procedure, but getting everyone to follow it and to have patience in the morning, knowing that, there are hundreds of cars dropping off, and to be ready and prepared to have your child exit has always been a challenge. So I agree with you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I leave at 5:30 in the morning, I'll come home till 7, so I don't get to see any of the
That's good
traffic.
then. That's
We're
good.
the
we're in a
parent-
walking district, but
Yeah.
Nobody
And
walks.
in a case like that, on a rainy day, it's.
On a regular day as well. Rainy
Oh,
day
yeah.
exacerbates it. But, John, if, there's a time where you want to come and we can propose what at least we had been discussing,
Well, we're
Yeah.
going to have somebody up on Bucky Street too down.
well, yeah,
That'll keep traffic moving, so you won't have to worry about. So there will be somebody up there moving it along. So it'll flow.
I,
That helps.
you know, as a parent and my children have gone to Bristol Township, in the elementary school, they had a different procedure. However, I've waited 30 to 40 minutes, and that's just how it is. There's a lot of kids to dismiss, a lot of kids that get picked up. Student safety is first and foremost. It is what it is, and so we have to have our parents realize the same thing, is that student safety is first.
Yeah.
It's not about convenience, and it's a challenge. I agree with you. It has always been my nemesis, and still
Well,
is.
like you said, you'll have an idea, and then the parents will be notified for this new traffic pattern come September. Anything else, Mr. Stiltner?
Rosada's always out there, rain or shine. She's always out there.
Yeah.
Mr. Pagliazzo?
I'm by kindergarten.
Congratulations to Mrs. Giswaldi again on her retirement. Congratulations to all the graduates at Bristol High School this year. Tom, great job. Nick, Kelly, Bobby, George, Chris, Jen, everybody, another great year. Look forward to next year. That's it.
Dr. Schaefer?
I want to congratulate Mrs. Giswaldi. I don't know what I would have done without her over all these years, believe me. As principal, superintendent, she has been a godsend to me. And Kelly, congratulations on a wonderful job. But I do want to talk about, I am going to go back to the comprehensive plan, okay? Every 3 years, the school district is required by the Department of Education to put together a comprehensive plan. Ours is due next year, okay? I'll be working with some of the needs assessment and data during the summer, but Dr. Davis will be doing the actual plan. One of the new components and primary components of the new comprehensive plan is mental health.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Smith, I'm sure will be on the committee, to be writing the comprehensive plan with Dr. Davis. But it is a key component, it is a major part of the new comprehensive plan, because the state does recognize it is an issue, Tony.
Thank you.
Dr. Schaefer, if I could add on behalf too of the elementary school, we're in the process of looking for a social and emotional type of curriculum program so that we have a common language for every classroom teacher in kind of with class meetings and addressing and emotions, because little kids don't always have the coping skills to deal with their emotions and how they should deal with it appropriately. And so we are also knowing it is a huge issue, and Mrs. Rosato, Anna Rosato, our social worker, is taking classes, and so we've been kind of talking, and there's some framework, so it is definitely, we're looking for a good fit for us here as well.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Is that it, Mr. Schaefer?
That's it, thank you.
Dr. Schaefer?
So first, and I want to thank the board for all of their support, and certainly my right hand sitting behind me here, Jennifer. I want to thank Chris, I don't know what we do without him, and Kelly and Nick, thank you very, very much for everything.
Mr. Trullo?
Yes, I'd like to thank the board and administration, everybody, for working with us this year. It's been a real pleasure. Had some challenges, but we've managed to get through them, I think, in a unified way and a very effective way. So I really appreciate, and all the other attorneys and staff in my office appreciate that too. And we certainly wish the graduates this year the best, and hope everybody has a restful and enjoyable summer as well. Now to my actual role here, which is the report on the executive session, which I know everybody's been waiting on. The executive session started at 6 o'clock and ended at 7:25. All board members who are here were in attendance at the executive session along with Dr. Schaefer, Mr. McHugh, and myself. The following items were discussed at the executive session: informational, contracts, collective bargaining, personnel, security, litigation, and confidential. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Trullo. Mr. DeAngelo?
Okay, since everybody thanked everybody, I don't need to go into that, but I do want to say to Kelly, I was up at the red and gray days, or what do you call them?
Field days.
And they were really, really brought back some good memories, and we had some beautiful weather, maybe not on Friday, but we did have, it was a nice event. The kids were out running around and just having fun, and everybody was really making it a good event, so thank you for putting on that. Now, I have a couple quick things. I know that we've heard from the Pennsylvania Fund Our Schools PA. I know that, Jim, you guys were here a couple weeks ago talking about it, and they were kind enough to come up to the intermediate unit, and they gave me this, and by their count, again, Bristol Borough was short almost $7.2 million if we were adequately funded. So, in conjunction with that, I'd like to read the latest legislative report that we got from the IU that says, Pennsylvania revenues continue to outpace estimates. Commonwealth collected $6.5 billion in general fund revenue in April, which was $1.8 billion. So in 1 month, they collected $1.8 billion more than they were estimating. And that $6.5 billion was the most tax revenue ever collected in the history for a month of Pennsylvania. And so fiscal year to date, we've collected $40.7 billion, which is $4.5 billion above estimate. So if we can somehow draw a line between these two things, it looks like that maybe this year when they do the budget, we will get some money.
And I'd like to add, the superintendent from Bucks County met with the acting Secretary of Education. That $4.5 billion is in addition to $13 billion in COVID money that is just sitting in Harrisburg doing nothing.
So what I would say to my friends that were concerned, and a lot of this money will probably be earmarked on hardening our schools and on safety concerns and whatnot, but I'm sure that we can make a strong case, Tom, when you do our plan and the needs assessment, that we do need a lot of money. So there's going to be money to get, and so hopefully we'll get it. We'll make a good attempt to get it. Okay, moving from that, on May 31st, in my capacity as a president of the intermediate unit, we attended a dinner for something called Project Search. And basically what it is, it's a program that just started up this year that we partnered with the county and the Department of Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. That's the Pennsylvania Department of Labor. And what they did was they were able to find young men and women, 10 of them actually, and were given internships. Right, so these are between the age of 18 and 21, and they were given internships with the county and some other local business, but primarily with the county. And it was such a resounding success that the county has hired 5 of these young men and women to work just with the commissioners, to work in the Board of Assessments, to work on the Board of Elections, to work in, but one of the big ones was the district attorney, Matt Weintraub, hired 2 guys to come work in the district attorney's office. And so it was really a good thing to see and to partner with the county. And this was just the first year. So that was really a resounding success. Number 2 is, again, in my capacity at the president of the intermediate unit, we had our graduation on Monday, and I just wanted to kind of, again, call out one of our students that was in the STEP program. And again, the STEP program is it's an 18 to 21-year-old program for, for kids that need to transition from going to school to living in the real world, right, and all the harsh realities that you have to face. We had a young man named Alexander Miracle. He was a Bristol Borough student that was able to graduate, and it was my privilege to hand him his diploma and meet him and see that it was doing. So that's another good thing. And finally, I'll leave you with, last night, the BAAA, which is one of our groups, a charity group that helps fund a lot of our events, and mostly primarily with sports, but other things as well. We attended the Trenton Thunder game. I think there was maybe about 30 of us there. It was a great game, and it was pretty neat because Bristol's own Jeff Mano is the coach of the Trenton Thunder, and so we got to see a nice game, and Jeff's son is a player on the Thunder, and lo and behold, what happened in the 4th inning, man, I must have known we were there, and young Jeff hit a monstrous home run, and they end up winning. So that was a good thing, and again, I want to thank the BAA, which I am a member, raise a lot of money, and they kind of fill in the gaps. They kind of see where there's a need, and it used to be with just athletics. We give scholarships to the athletes of the year, but now we do other things too. So again, we're always open to taking propositions. If you have a need, it could be a few $100s for classroom supplies. Encourage Nick and Kelly, encourage teachers to reach out to us, and every time we meet, we sit and we go over and we try to fund almost every grant that comes our way. And I know that we've done it in the past. And so I know Jim and Deb are here, and if anyone wants to join our organization, we have a webpage on Facebook, and it's just called the Bristol Alumni Athletic Association. And just go on there and click and leave me a note, and I'll get you all the information that you need. And that's it.
Thank you, Mr. D'Angelo. Okay, as Mr. D'Angelo said, I want to congratulate Mrs. Gesualdi for her years of service here, and it was a pleasure, I guess, to donate the library to her. She's worked so hard. But I know you've heard some comments about, what some of the board members were talking about tonight as far as some of our policies have to get looked at again. And, the new board members, Mrs. Curran and Mr. Smith, in executive session pointed that out to me, clearly. I mean, I've been here for a while, but, these issues have to be, addressed as far as, with graduation and stuff, and we promised them, that we would, look into this. Unfortunately, and the members that have been here for a while, this has probably, happened 12 to 15 times, and it never gets easy for the board, to change in the middle of something to say, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to change a policy. So we agreed there's an issue that's outstanding, and we're going to address the issue. And I'm sure that as things come up, the board works very well together, and things have to be done. We went through a COVID, and things are difficult, and mental health has a lot to do in the schools, and we want to make sure that everybody is safe. So with that being said, I could assure you that, we're going to look into some policy changes for the next year that, that will ensure that the school district is fair to everyone, but not, sometimes it's hard to look at individual cases. And it's never an easy thing, but, if you could correct things as you go along, at least you're doing what the community has elected you to do. On another note, like I said, the projects are going to take place this summer. We made sure in the Buildings and Grounds meeting everything was laid out. We're also looking to bring back the grant that would provide a police officer in the school. So Dr. Schaefer is looking into that. And I spoke with Chief Moores, and he assured me that, he will be hiring part-time police officers that will be available on the street or in the building here. They are police officers, and he's going to try and make sure that there is a police officer in one building. We do have a security, Mr. Denny, who is armed and certified, the constable. So it's safe to say that when school starts in September, that each building will have an officer in the building. We also are looking into the security setup here is sufficient. We're looking at enhancing the security at the high school. It's a little bit of a problem there, but we have Mr. Gatto, looking into that. And so something is going to be happening there. And I think with all of the incidents that are happening in schools around the country, I think that, money will be allotted to the school districts. I mean, I don't think the board wants to wait to say, well, when we get the money, we'll do the project. We'll just go ahead. It's a safety issue. The school district was allotted $5.5 million. The business manager presented all of us tonight with a breakdown as to where that money was earmarked, and it's spread out all over the school district, and that was submitted over a year ago, I guess, Chris, correct?
Year and a half.
Dr. Minetti, Chris, the former superintendent, the principals, they all worked, and it was a wish list as to what they wanted, for the school district. And I could assure you, all of that money, will be used. And if anyone's interested in seeing where that money is going to be allotted, we could gladly show you that. But things are looking bright here in Bristol. And want to thank Dr. Schaefer. I know this isn't your last meeting, but I may be on vacation at the end of June. So I just wanted to thank you for coming back and helping us out here. I have one more comment. There is not a vice president on the board. Mrs. Paglione has said she is interested in it. So at the next meeting, we will officially, I'll ask for a nomination, to place her in that vice president's seat. So want to thank everyone from the public for for attending the ceremony for Mrs. Gesualdi, and that's it. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Okay, Mr. Pliafco, second.
Second.
Oh, Mr. Collins.